Hello villagers, welcome back to another video here in Stacy's Random POV. And because I had an overwhelming amount of videos talking about this whole tariff situation, I am continuing on. This is part 3, two TikTokers discussing the tariff situation. And if you haven't already, you guys know I already have part 1 and part 2 already in my channel, so please do not hesitate. Go on my channel and check out the videos if you want to catch up. So basically, we were just discussing what is going on, what's going to happen in 2025, aka January 6, 2025. They will be implementing a tariff on the American people, on business owners and consumers alike. Again, I'm not sure which of these items will be considered up for tariff. We don't know if it's gonna be all countries, some countries. We absolutely know China will be in there. So hopefully Venezuela and Mexico and Canada and Saudi Arabia are not, because those are the countries where we get our gas from for our vehicles and for our homes as well, petroleum. So I don't know, you guys. I honestly cannot wait to see what you guys have to say. This is a very important topic and a very important conversation that we need to have as citizens. So please let me know what's going on and what do you guys think about it. And you already know, once you subscribe, you automatically become a member of this village. And you love this village, you appreciate this village, baby, because it takes a village. So let me know what you think, and let's go. Let's get this started.
All right, let's have a quick econ lesson on tariffs and what they are. So tariffs, in simple term, are a tax on imported goods. And so the easiest way to break this down, let's say you own a t-shirt company and you obviously have to buy the supplies, right? So you buy these imported t-shirts, say for $10, and you sell those t-shirts for $10, for $15. So you've made a $5 profit, right? However, you've imposed a tariff. And so next year, that shirt is going to cost you $12 versus the 10 you were paying before. So the likelihood of you still charging 15 is probably low, right? Because you've now lost money. So you're going to raise your price. So that same t-shirt the year before that was $15, you're probably going to price it at maybe $20, right? To make some of that money back and to obviously cover your expenses, because you know that you're going to need to buy more t-shirts. And so we pay the tariffs. You as a consumer are going to pay the tariffs. Okay. And tariffs are not all bad. Trump did impose tariffs during his administration. But those were on things such as like steel, solar panels, Chinese electric vehicles. So they weren't such of a big deal. Biden kept a lot of those tariffs because obviously we want to protect the steel industry and things that are made in America. However, when you impose tariffs on all imported goods, knowing that some of the products that we need and use cannot be made in the US, that is when a problem can occur. Not only that, but if we impose tariffs, guess what another country might do? So they may also impose a tariff on us. So then it becomes a trade war where neither one of us benefits. And so that's the part where, a lot of Democrats are like, things are going to be more expensive, because if you're imposing a 60% tariff on Chinese goods, and look at how much stuff we get from China, the majority, right? And 20% on everything else, things are going to be a lot more expensive, a hell of a lot more expensive. And so people who are complaining that things were not affordable today, it's not going to be any better tomorrow. So that argument just doesn't make sense. Now, I get why, Trump wants to do tariffs, because it's a way to raise revenue, right, for us. However, it's definitely going to create some issues, because not only is it going to raise the price, but because it's going to be so expensive, a lot of consumers may stop buying certain things. So obviously that would hurt the other country as well, because the supply is not, or the demand is no longer there. So just simple economic terms, right? Tariffs are not always a bad thing. I'm not going to say that they are. However, if you're thinking that the tariffs are going to help us, in all instances, bring back American jobs, that's just not the case, because not everything can be made in the U.S. And so I definitely see a need for tariffs in some instances. Like I said, Trump did obviously put in tariffs for certain things and we didn't feel it. I mean, you're not going to feel it on steel or, like I said, solar panels, because you don't buy those things every day. But when the everyday consumer is trying to buy things, which most of which come from China, you are going to feel that in your pocket. So there will be some long-term effects of that. And in the words of Elon Musk, who, if Trump decides to promote him to the role of helping reduce the deficit and cut a lot of programs, which is likely to happen now that he's won, Elon Musk put it very bluntly. He's a straight shooter. He said, prepare for temporary hardship. So what I would do is make sure you're doing everything you can to save, stock up where you can on necessities, because things are going to get tight. And if you're already struggling, they're going to get tighter. So yeah, that's just the reality of what's to come. You know, and I get that some people believe that there will be offsets. We'll see. I don't know, but I think that even if there are, depending on where you are in that bracket, that tax bracket, you're going to feel it a lot more, even more so under his administration than you have felt it today. So it is what it is.
I've been like peeking in a lot of lives today, and I hear a lot of people talking about, oh, well, Trump's going to raise the tariffs, and that's going to be a big problem, and it's just going to drive us back into inflation. But my good friend Blackjack, who always breaks shit down for people who may not be, you know, that privy to how taxes and tariffs and just how government spending works, he broke it down in the most holistic way on how it may actually benefit American citizens. Check him out.
Next up, tariffs. Guys, a lot of people are concerned that Donald Trump's plans on tariffs, and I've seen it from a lot of economists, that tariffs are always inflationary. Okay. Well, you're leaving out one gigantic piece of the equation. Elon and Ron Paul's plan to cut government spending by 80%. Okay? So if they cut spending by 80% and we increase tariffs, is that going to be inflationary? Well, keep in mind, inflation is primarily driven back by government spending.
Right.
So how much are the tariffs going to drive up inflation? Maybe zero. We don't know. We've never had a 80% cut or a 70% cut in government spending. Right. It could even be negative. But I see all these economists going, well, if we do tariffs, they're always going to be inflationary. Well, then you're not taking a holistic approach to the economy and looking at the entire equation of, if government spending is reduced 70% and tariffs are raised 30%, is that a benefit to the American people? From a holistic economic standpoint, it absolutely is. A tariff is only an economic tool that is as powerful as the person wielding it. Let's get production back in the United States. Let's cut government spending. Let's add the tariffs to force manufacturers to start doing it here, but at a point to where it's not as commensurate as the government spending that was cut.
So, you see how that works? We need to bring American jobs back to America, and we need to keep American jobs in America. And if anybody wants to do business with us, they need to pay their fair share. You got to pay what you weigh. Thanks, Blackjack.
Good. The flip side is it creates an export problem because there'll be retribution. I've gotten emails even in the past week from viewers of Squawk who are farmers in the Midwest who are worried, deeply worried, that depending on how these tariffs play out, that it's actually going to affect them on the opposite end.
Okay. We're in the FAFO phase. You F around and you find out. Okay? Trump and his people are planning how they're going to roll out what he convinced you that will help your pocket. And we're going to speak about tariffs and how it affects your pocket. Okay? Increasing the tariffs on a country like China, for instance. He mentions China all the time. A lot of our stuff comes from China. They, on their side, say, okay, you're going to increase tariffs on us? Sure. We're going to increase the cost and the price that your companies will pay us, meaning China, for these products so they could sell on. So China goes to a company in the U.S. from $5 now to $10, depending on the increase. Now, the U.S. company says, well, what are we in business for? Our costs increase. We still got to make our profit margin. We have a goal of what we need to do and make. We have stakeholders. We have a board. We need to show them that we're making our targets. And hence, we need to increase our prices to make our sales targets. Now, who pays for this? Us, the consumers. We're the end consumer that purchases the actual product. the company in the US is going to increase their prices to make up what China has to pay because they are making the US company pay the tariffs. So that's what happens, okay? It could be found anywhere. Google it. It's simple. Who pays for increased taxes and how does that play a role on consumers? If you want, go look at CNBC, look at Investopedia, look at Forbes, my all-time favorite, Business Insider. All of these business publications and references resource and teach you from step one all the way to the last and final step when the product reaches your table, your pocket, your bag, your car, whatever. It teaches you that you will increase your costs on buying whatever product it is based on these increased tariffs. This is what you guys did. Simple search. Paying attention in school. That's all it took.
Help me! Help me!
Let's talk about tariffs. Let's find out what they are, who pays for them, and most importantly, who do they benefit? Before we get started, make sure to like, comment, and share this video. Most commonly, countries apply tariffs on imported goods, raising their prices and encouraging people to buy locally. Let's see what this looks like.
The tariffs are taxes that the government imposes on imported goods. Here's how they work. Let's say an American store buys shirts for $10 in Vietnam and sells them for $12 in the US. Under Trump's proposed tariff, the business would pay an additional $1 or $2 to import the shirts. While the importer could absorb the cost, economists say it's more likely the business will sell the shirts for up to $14, passing the cost onto the consumer. Estimates by policy experts vary, but Trump's tariff proposals are generally expected to cost a typical household between $1,700 and $6,000.
Hi, you guys. Look, I really debated whether or not I was going to sit here and talk about this. I thought about it long and hard yesterday. I know this is probably going to cause controversy or this is going to cause whatever. And to be quite honest with you, I'd much rather lose and people know than not do anything and sit on it, okay? This was brought to my attention yesterday from a friend of mine. His name is Mr. Mr. Wheezy 100, and he's an engineer. I'm not going to get into information about him, okay? And he brought this to my attention because, you know, he also understands that, you know, I have my CCIE. You know, I've been a programmer and a networker for the past almost 11 years, you know, for networking and computers and all those, you know, all those other things. With that being said, it was brought to my attention, and I'm going to, at the end of this video, make sure you watch the whole entire thing, please post it, boost it, because I'd rather lose and, you know, lose whatever I need to in order to get the information out than to not say anything and sit on it, because I absolutely fucking refuse to be like this. This is a give back to my dad and, you know, everything that he went through. Anyways, with that being said, he sent me a video letting me know that California and other swing states were able to use Starlink in order to tally up and to count ballot votes or voting ballots in their state, okay? There's a multitude of issues with that, and I'm going to explain to you why. And I'll explain to you in layman's terms, because you have to understand when it comes to computer programming jargon, you guys are not going to understand what the flying F I'm fucking talking about, okay? So anything that you guys don't understand or you want more clarification from, please message me. I have no problems explaining it to you. With that being said, okay, you also have to understand that when it comes to Starlink, okay, Starlink is it's an IPv4, it's an IPv6. Basically what that means is that it's a specific satellite link-up system that sends signals to whatever it's hooked up to. Doesn't matter what it is, like a normal internet connection, right? With that being said, two things. Number one, why in the flying freaking flap, okay, were voting fucking ballot or voting ballot boxes or whatever, you know, the places where you go to fucking vote, why were they connected to the internet? There is absolutely zero reasons as to why those systems were connected to the internet. Those machines have absolutely no problem tallying up votes like they have done since the beginning of time. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to come in here and talk about, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and help you because I know, you know, there's a lot more people voting and it's going to be difficult, this and this and that. There's not a lot of people that you volunteer to help, blah, 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 blah. You know, let me help you to tally up the votes in order to be able to help you guys and make things easier for you. Oh, what a sweetheart you are. What a sweetheart you are. But for those of us who know the business, we're not dumb. Okay? So again, you have to understand that when it comes to Starlink, okay, Starlink is a tri-band Fi6 system. Okay, like I said before, it sends signals to whatever it's hooked up to and bounces back and forth, and this is that. You know what I'm saying? It's a basic system, highly intelligent AI process system, right? And with that being said, it's amazing, to be honest with you. I'm not going to take away the fact that this man is a genius, okay? And I will say that, but genius in a lot of ways.
again, with that being said, you also have to understand that when you are using a Linux operating system, which is what Starlink also is, okay? This is going to be difficult to explain, but I'll try the best that I can. When you are sending signals back and forth to expel or to read information, right? The information that's being read, it's not normal information. So in other words, it's not a normal internet connection. Like irregular internet connections, it's a broad span of all different types of fucking information. Doesn't matter what it is, what you're looking up, 50,728 fucking things that come in and out of the fucking signal and processes it and allows it to bounce back and fucking tell you whatever fucking answer that you need, right? Okay, straight. Now, with Linux systems, there is no fucking way, unless you are processing different systems and different programming to the Linux BIOS in order to fucking bounce back the information that you're getting. In other words, the information that you're getting has to be the same repetitive fucking thing. So in other words, if you're gonna process this and you're going to tally up whatever, right? It's only going to process one specific thing. In other words, so let's say you're going to separate it, right? Okay, we're only going to separate this system so that way it only reads Dem votes, or it only reads Republican votes, or only reads Libertarian votes, or whatever, right? To separate each one in order to count things correctly in order for that to be correct, right? No, you have to understand Linux systems do not work that way. It is a 4x4 minimum system that only fucking works bilateral based on what information it's fed. One thing to bounce back. So if you're counting something, it can't separate them. Is this making sense for you? You can't separate what it's counting. So with that being said, he would have had to separate his processing system. He would have had to have sent 3 different types of gens. Gens are different operating systems that separate between the linkage signal, right? In order to switch what it's doing. So with that being said, okay, he sent it down. He read a certain amount of fucking certain votes, right? Sure, okay, that's fine. But that's not what the fuck you did. The whole entire time that you were using this system and you were using it to tally votes, you were using a Linux system. It doesn't split. It doesn't split. So how in the fuck were you counting things correctly when you weren't even able to separate what it was that you were counting? Is this making sense to anybody? No? Maybe? I don't, bro. I'm fucking telling you. And not only that, this is why the numbers don't make sense. This is why the numbers don't make sense. And the reason why I'm going to tell you that is because, first of all, you had guaranteed states that were going to turn blue and didn't. Then you have millions of fucking, things that are missing. Now you have fucking people that are all over the fucking United States that are looking up their things and are stating that they were not fucking received or processed. Do you fucking get what I'm saying here? Do you see what I'm saying to you? Because this right here is bullshit. I don't care how smart of a programmer you are. You cannot splice your own networking system to do what it's not designed to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you don't, again, message me and I'll explain it to you even further. I only have a couple more minutes. I want to play this video for you. If I don't have enough time to play the whole thing, I will repost it or I will send it to you my fucking self. And not, like I said, and then the places that he sent Starlink to were only to swing states. Man, come the fuck on, bro. I'm going to play the video for you now. You guys fucking tell me how you feel about it. Please repost this and get it out. I don't give a fuck if I don't care. Share it with the fucking masses, bro. Fucking please. Because everybody deserves to know.
Hey you guys, so thank you so much if you've gotten this far in the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like it because it goes a long way. And also let me know what you think. Everything Etheria said was so deep and it needs to be looked into. If there's any validity to what she says, it needs to be looked into. But I can't wait to see what you guys got to say about that. Maybe you guys got more insight regarding Starlink being used in this election. I don't know. But with that being said, subscribe so you can become a member of this village. Because you love this village. You appreciate this village. Because it takes a village, baby. With that being said, I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.